So a while ago, I uploaded a video for the It Gets Better project, and in one of the comments, a teen asked me a question. He said his background was also of Sri Lankan Tamil origin, and that he was gay, and he wasn't sure how accepting his parents would be. So he asked me about my own experience, and perhaps if I had some words of wisdom. I think if I was to do it all over again, here's what my advice would be in a nutshell to myself, and hopefully you'll find it helpful. I would say if you're 18, if you're living at home and your parents are Sri Lankan and you're unsure of how they're going to be, if they're going to be accepting of you or not, I would say if you're that young, if you're in school and you're depending on them for support, I would advise you to actually not come out to them. I would not recommend coming out to your parents until later on, perhaps after you finish school, definitely only once you have moved out and you've become independent, because I don't know what your parents are like. You got to look out for your own best interests at all times. So if you feel like if you're unsure how your parents will react, it will probably be best for you to wait until you're a bit older and are fully independent. I think another benefit of waiting until you're older to come out to them is if you come out to them when you're, say, 25, 27, you've been living independently for a few years, maybe you're established in your career, and, it's obvious that you're a real bona fide adult. I think that if you go to your parents and come out to them and tell them that you're gay, I think they can't just dismiss you as being, some young, dumb kid who doesn't know anything and thinks he knows everything and has gotten in with a bad crowd, and that's why he's doing this to us. So I think that those are two reasons why you might want to wait until you're a little bit older. I think the family dynamics in, Asian families, I know from my experience being a member of a Sri Lankan Tamil family, is your parents may see you as an extension of themselves. So when you come out to them, if they react negatively, a lot of it may be their issues. Actually, you know what? If you come out to them and they react negatively, understand with any parents, Asian, whoever, it's their issue. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're totally fine the way you are. You're gay. That's the way, God, the creator, made you. So there's nothing wrong with you. If your parents react negatively or poorly, it's their issue. There's a lot that it will take for them to get to a place of being accepting. And if they do react negatively, it's not your fault. You have not done anything wrong. I think that depending on how your parents react, you may need to let go of the idea of having full acceptance from your family. I know of a few of my Asian friends and some of my Indian and Sri Lankan friends who've come up to their parents, and they still have a relationship with their parents, but it's not a fully open, easygoing, natural feeling relationship the way that they would have liked. So if your parents don't accept you, sometimes the only thing you can do is accept that they're not going to accept you. And that can take a long time. You still love your parents, and it really hurts to have them not accept you. But, if you've done all you can, if you've come out to them and maybe you have given them books to read, maybe you've dragged them to a therapy session, to try and get them to open up and talk about all this. If you've done as much as you can, then unfortunately your parents just may not be able to come around and accept you the way you would like. I think it's healthy to always hold a little bit of hope that maybe things will change and that they Maybe they will come around someday, but don't place all your happiness in that. I think you want to live your life as truthfully and as authentically as you can for yourself. And you know what I've learned recently is, hey, we really do only have one life to live, and you got to live it for yourself, because no amount of trying to please your parents, trying to live your life the way they want you to, I think no matter how hard you might be trying to please your parents, it's never going to be enough. And that's why at the end of it all, you have to make your own decisions and you have to live your life for you. I think that when you come from an Asian background family, it's a bit harder because, especially for us kids who have grown up in the West, it's kind of a natural way of thinking of, this is my life, I'm going to live it the way I want. But in our parents' culture, it's a lot more about living for the family and kind of following in the family's footsteps. And I think the phrase I hear a lot now is filial piety, kind of respect to the family above all else. And so those are two completely conflicting value systems. So I think accept yourself, love yourself, love your parents as much as you can. And the healthiest place for you to get in the end might be to accept that your parents are not able to accept you. And if that is the case, it's not your fault. And again, just the most important thing, I've already said this, but I think it's really important. If you are living under your parents' support, I would caution you against coming out until you are living independently on your own. Just like I said, you always got to look out for yourself. So I hope that helps. I know it's not a clear-cut, how-to type of advice, follow steps 1 through 5 and, your parents will accept you as a gay Sri Lankan teen. But it's a complex issue. It's not that straightforward. So I hope that I've been able to give you a little bit of insight. If you have any questions, always feel free to write me. I'm happy to post more videos if you or any of the other people viewing this have any questions. So best of luck, and keep me posted on how things are going. All right, take care.